Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. I came across this news report that came out about 6 days ago concerning Maui and the fires that have happened. But before I continue, I just want to thank all my new subscribers. And I want to thank everyone for also subscribing on Rumble, on my other channel. So don't forget to please comment, like, subscribe. Give this channel a thumbs up, this video a thumbs up I should say, and hit the notification button. That issue with YouTube still hasn't been resolved, so hopefully they're working on that. But also don't forget to spread the channel so we can keep this channel growing. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers and beyond, so we could keep spreading awareness and all that. But with that being said, this news report is about the fires in Maui back in 2018. And it has some really interesting things that makes me believe that definitely an internal investigation truly needs to take place and people need to get arrested. Okay. There is one person in particular that is mentioned in this, and I'm not surprised, but what I am surprised about is what happened in Maui could have definitely been avoided, especially the death toll. But without further ado, pay close attention to this, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here we go.
9HNN investigates what the government knew about Maui's fire risk before Lahaina burned. Tonight, the head of the West Maui Improvement Foundation says Maui County has a report that it wants to keep secret. Our investigative reporter Allison Blair has the exclusive.
The report in question documents the county's emergency response to another disastrous wildfire that swept through part of Lahaina back in 2018, detailing what went right and what went wrong. For weeks, we've been asking different Maui County agencies for a copy of that after-action report, but haven't gotten it. Meanwhile, a community advocate who says he's seen it tells us its contents are damning. A warning, some of the audio in this story may be disturbing to hear.
This is a nightmare.
911 calls tell the story of August 8th, 2023.
Please send someone to my mom's house.
Hundreds of people desperate for guidance.
Now, before I continue, just to give, just to like reiterate back on one of my last videos, if you people see all the fires that are going on, you could tell that it's still during the day. And I bring this up because of what the mayor said about him not knowing, okay, the severity of the fires. As you can see on these 911 calls with the videos, you can see that there is no way that man couldn't have known the severity of this fire in Maui, in Lahaina. People really need to spread this news. People really need, I wouldn't know how to do it other than to just, make content about it. But I think what people need to start doing, they need to start petitions for people to be removed and investigated, in my opinion. And it needs to start from the mainland, okay? Because I highly doubt the people in Hawaii are going to be able to do it. So people may say, well, that could set a dangerous precedent. No, it can't. No, it can't. Okay, what it'll do is bring out the truth more and hold people accountable. Okay, the way they're supposed to be held accountable. This wasn't, like I said before, this wasn't a one-off. This was a whole town. Okay, hundreds of people lost their lives. Hundreds of children are still missing. Okay, and the mainstream media barely. You barely hear anything. If it's not coming out from Hawaii, it's not coming out from any of the other news networks, at least from what I can see. But with that being said, let's continue.
It's pleading with a Maui County dispatcher for help.
I went down to the store. I left my kids in the house, and they don't have any other way to to evacuate.
5 years before that ferocious inferno trapped and killed at least 98 people and erased the town, Lahaina was in the crosshairs of another quick-moving wildfire. In August 2018, winds from Hurricane Lane fueled a disrupt.
Does that sound eerily familiar? In August of 2018? I mean, I tell you, talk about lightning striking in the same spot. Let's continue.
Destructive blaze that consumed more than 2,000 acres and 21 homes in the Kaua'ula Valley, a community just a few minutes up the hill from Lahaina. Former Civil Defense Council Chair Sherman Thompson said firefighters barely managed to stop the flames.
The potential of Lahaina town being destroyed was very, very real.
That was way too close.
It's a danger Joe Pluta has been aware of for decades.
We just knew that West Maui wasn't safe.
The longtime Lahaina resident heads up the West Maui Improvement Foundation. He says it's why the nonprofit started a grassroots campaign to raise money to build more fire stations, especially on the leeward side of the island. Those fundraisers are the reason a fire station was built in Napili. How long ago was that?
26 years ago.
Pluta says he alone.
Listen to that, 26 years ago. You know, I find it hard to believe that the powers that be are going to use every excuse in the book. Okay, one of the excuses, of course, that they're using is they don't have enough manpower when it comes to fire stations. Now, they go and they sell big chunks of the island, all the islands, to all these rich celebrities, okay, worth tens of millions of dollars. So where does that money go? You know, one would think that they would take that money and say, okay, you know what, we made a lot of money, we sold this piece of land, let's open up another fire station, or two of them, or three of them. Let's train the citizens, like the way they do with a lot of the voluntary fire stations up in upstate New York and other places. Okay, when I was in Arkansas, I knew a friend of mine who was him and his wife, they were volunteers for the fire department in you know, one of the small little towns further up in Arkansas. So, you know, the community gets together and they, you know, they get trained and all that. You know, why a place like Hawaii wouldn't do something like that, knowing very well that the people, they're a community, they're there, they band together. It's beyond me. And it just makes you wonder, especially when something similar happened 5 years ago in 2018. But let's continue.
Along with other members of the foundation, had hoped the 2018 fire would be the wake-up call the county needed to start taking additional steps to prevent future wildfires.
So we went and had a meeting with the Mayor Victorino. He had Herman Andaya there, his emergency manager.
Did you hear that name? Herman Andaya. Back in 2018 was part of another one. Now, he was the one that said that they couldn't turn on the sirens because they didn't want people to think that a tsunami was coming. A blatant lie, contradiction, whatever you want to call it, because it shows that in their protocol that they will turn on those sirens for what? For wildfires also. So not only was Herman Andaya part of the crew back in 2018, this time around, still part of it, this time in charge, knowing very well what happened, what steps could have been taken. No, he comes up with an excuse saying, no, we didn't turn them on, you know, and I feel comfortable with that because we don't want people to run into the fire as if they would have, okay, thinking there was a tsunami. But then he resigns the very next day after that report, after that news press conference. But here we go.
Azure.
5 years ago, Mayor Victorino was still a few months away from officially taking office.
The fire was August 2018. This was September 2018.
Yes.
Pluta said the purpose of the meeting was to advocate for a fire department in Oluwalu, about 7 miles south of Lahaina. He says he'd already secured this plot of land on Luawai Street. The nonprofit was in the process of raising funds to build it and wanted support from the county. He says members of the foundation were also in search of more information about the fire that nearly took the town.
We got to find out what went right, what went wrong, and then let's see what we can collectively do to make sure that none of this stuff could possibly happen again.
But he says that conversation didn't go as expected. When Pluta asked for a copy of the after-action report,
Mr. Andaya was so concerned. He says, you can look at it here in the office, but you can't say anything about it to anybody. It's all confidential. The impression I got is that he said the liability to the county is way too high because of what is revealed in that report.
You believe that? That was Andaya who did that. So he was covering up something back then, 5 years ago, and then conveniently, the day right after the fire, decides to resign. This is what I'm saying, people, that these people, Herman Andaya, the mayor, the governor, the police chief, and the fire chief, those 5 men right there that are ahead of those 5 organizations, those 5 entities, they all need to be stripped of their title of what they're doing, and they need to be brought in, and they need to be questioned, okay? And in my opinion, because of the severity of this tragedy, it should be a U.S. congressional hearing. And some people will say, well, that's impossible. No, it's not. No, it's not. This was massive loss of life. This has all the earmarks of a massive cover-up on so many levels, especially when it comes to the children, when it comes to the true death toll. Okay? There are so many factors here to get all these people out of hiding. And I say out of hiding, even though some people say, well, the mayor and the governor's still out there and the police chief. No. What I mean out of hiding, of taking them out of their protective bubble, that they think that, you know what, we're going to give a press conference, we're going to keep them moving, and we're done. No, they need to be stripped from all that and say, now you will be held like a regular civilian, okay, and you will be brought in for questioning. Extensive questioning. But let's continue.
And we don't want anybody to know anything about it.
You read it, but you cannot say what it said.
I didn't want to, get accused of leaking confidential information and having to go to court.
Did what you read concern you?
Absolutely.
In what way?
The failure to recognize the imminent dangers that were revealed.
H&N Investigates has
Did you hear that? So that means that in the report that they had, the after report, after that fire in 2018, they knew of, like he just said, of imminent dangers that were ahead. And this is why, like I said, I believe that Andaya resigned. He resigned for some reason. I said in my earlier videos that he was a smart one. He was smart, the smart one to resign right away to get out. And not smart that, trying to back his play or anything like that. No. That he was like, you know what, I need to get out of this because this is going to backfire so bad. But he's at fault also. He is at major fault in this. So where are the investigators? Where is the FBI? Okay, where's the government coming down on this? Where are the judges? Okay, where are the district attorneys? It's funny, people, that in so many different states that have nothing to do, okay, with what Donald Trump is going through, you have all these district attorneys coming after him, taking him to court. And the U.S. government, the Biden administration, all of them, they're okay with that. They're like, oh, they have the right to do that. But when it comes to something like this, where people have died, hundreds of people have died, hundreds of women, children and adults are still missing. And nobody wants to investigate into this. But let's continue.
Been weeks submitting public records requests to a multitude of Maui County agencies in an effort to obtain a copy of the 2018 Lahaina wildfire after action report. The county told us it forwarded our request to its emergency management office, but we've yet to hear back.
Of course.
Meanwhile, a spokesperson with the Maui Police Department said she was unable to locate the report within normal search parameters. We even put a request into Maui County's Police Commission. Officials there didn't respond at all. The executive director of the Civil Beat Law Center told HNN Investigates there is no good reason Maui County should be withholding the entire report.
What?
Well, I mean, that's understandable, but the reason is because they're trying to cover something up, something that could have been avoided, or use it as a tactic to say, you know what, if we can delete it from the record, then it's basically we can use it as plausible deniability, saying, you know what, well, we didn't know these things were going to happen, but knowing very well they used that to their advantage to say, we're not going to build a fire department, we're not going to give them more resources, because when the time is right, this is going to happen again. And then we could claim stupid and incompetent and ignorant, okay, when the whole place burns down. Because then all we got to do is clean it up, take it for ourselves, and what do you get? I don't know, maybe like a 15-minute smart city or something like that. But let's continue.
What else did you take away from that meeting?
That we had a very serious problem.
Bluta says at the time, the county didn't have an evacuation plan for West Maui. It's still unclear if there's one today.
We've got some built-in problems the way that things are designed here. Lahaina Luna Road, for example. We got 3 schools up there at the top, thousands of kids. There's only one way in and out of that place.
He says nearby neighborhoods aren't
That's a
much
horrible
better.
thought.
I think it's a built-in trap. That's what happened. Everybody got stuck.
It's an outcome that was prophesized 3 years ago in the pages of another document, the county's hazard mitigation plan. The report says if any section of the road or utility line is damaged by a wildfire, the entire system may be impacted, insinuating people might not be able to escape.
After that meeting, what happened?
No, there was no follow-up.
We are working for the people.
We asked former Mayor Victorino about his recollection of the meeting with Pluta, what he knew about the 2018 Lahaina Fire After Action report, and if his administration did anything about it. However, he declined to answer our questions or sit down with HNN Investigates for an interview. Meanwhile, we've been unable to reach.
And why is that surprising? I mean, like, if he was actually going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'll talk about it, don't worry about it. You know, this corruption that's going on in Maui, I've had a few people leave comments, and I've seen on some other content that they say that it's like a mob that's running Hawaii. When it comes to the officials, it's like an internal family mob. That they look out for each other, they do certain things, and they really have it under control, where it's all hush hush. And I'm beginning to truly believe that. I really am. I mean, you would think that more people would be more outspoken about this. I mean, the citizens are, but I mean officials, and it's almost as if they're all trying to protect each other. But let's continue.
Reach Herman and Dyer for comment. He resigned, citing health reasons, as head of Maui County's emergency management agency in August, a week after fire leveled Lahaina.
You can't do the things that they've done here and not expect there's going to be consequences for inadequate planning.
Today, the West Maui Improvement Foundation is more determined than ever to raise funds for that new fire station in Oluwalu. Pluta says the total cost for the modular station is $2 million, $300,000 of which has already been raised. We've posted information on how you can donate on our website, Hawaii News Now.
Well, there you go. So in order to build a fire station, what, $2 million? I believe she said. At first I thought she said $2 billion, but that would be insane. So you mean to tell me with all the money they've made in Maui, in Hawaii, period, just on tourism over the years, okay, with all the money that they made selling off that land to Oprah and Bezos and Zuckerberg and the rest of them, they can bring in the material to build their houses, build their mansions, and build whatever security system. I mean, rumor goes that Oprah Winfrey had her own private fire company, okay, on standby to take care of her home so it wouldn't burn. Don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we all seen the reports. No celebrities' houses were destroyed. Another thing that's suspect in itself. But you mean to tell me they could not raise, in 5 years, The county cannot get together with everybody else, especially with a private entity who like she just said, just raised over $300,000. You mean to tell me the county couldn't come up with the other $1.7 million to open up a fire department, to build a fire department? And the fact that Andaya has been part of this for the past 5 years? You know, people, the more that they try to suppress these things, the more they're trying to suppress what has happened, this thing is reeling its ugly head. And it's going back. Okay? Now it's going back years. And this is why I said that what happened in Maui, in Lahaina, the way they're trying to suppress it on social media, on the mainstream media, it's something that people need to understand and say, you know what? No, we're not going to do this. We're going to keep pushing this. This is why I said this has not ended by a long shot for the people in Hawaii, for the people in Maui. People need to be fired and arrested. People need to be brought in. I cannot understand why there are not more politicians asking questions for the people in Maui. If you ask me, Hawaii is a hub for corruption. Because you'll have people from all the other states protesting if something happens in a state that they don't even live in. I have yet to see anybody protesting for Maui, going in front of their Capitol buildings to, their representatives saying, we want answers. I mean, in my opinion, it should start like in California. That's the closest place. That's where a lot of, people bounce off from Hawaii to California. But meanwhile, you got Gavin Newsom. Okay. Now, I know that he can't do nothing, about Maui. But he's off, visiting with Xi Jinping in China. Meanwhile, California, is hurting. But he's off in Asia. You would think that he'd stay closer to home and say, you know what, let's find out what's going on with, the people in Maui, because a lot of them, the ones that are leaving to find shelter until things get better, they're coming into California. I was speaking to a friend of mine 2 days ago, and I've known this man nearly 30 years. He's from California. But he always greets me when we talk, and he's always saying aloha, because he frequents back and forth to Hawaii, and I know this man 30 years. So there is a tight connection. You would think that California would spearhead and say, let's try to help what's going on in Maui. Let's investigate. Let's get these corrupt people out of there, especially since the police chief in Maui, okay, was a police chief on the mainland. And we all know what happened with that when he was police chief. But now you people know that Maui officials have been trying to hide some dirt. But I always say the truth will come out. Especially for the people in Maui, the truth is going to come out. But that's what I got for you. Hope you like the content. Please comment, like, subscribe, pass it around. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And keep praying for the people in Maui because they need it. And if there's any way you can help them, if there's anybody that watches my channel, any lawyers, anybody that can find any kind of legal advice or action that the people in Maui don't know yet that they can use to help them, help them. Help them, because they need it. Any way, any reputable way anybody can find to help them, because they truly need it. There are some wicked people in their midst, and they need help. I'm True Outlaw Patriot. Remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.